X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The calling.
And welcome everybody to another happy Odin's Day, Wednesday. So what's happening?
It's Happy Hump Day, Jerry.
Oh, that's one thing I couldn't stand is that commercial with that camel.
Oh.
Mike, what day is it, huh? Hump Day? It's like, I just hated that. Thank God they took it off the air. Oh, so ladies, what's happening?
Not a whole lot. Rain today. Looks like another storm coming our direction, which, yay, cone of uncertainty.
Which one's this now that's coming over? Is that Henry?
No, that's gone. This
Okay.
would be Ida or whatever the next J is. They're not sure I don't know the name.
Jerry.
I or J. It could be. It would figure, Jerry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine.
I heard we're getting rain here too, supposedly like tomorrow or something, tonight or tomorrow. We're getting rain as well. But it's hot. It is hot and muggy. Ugh.
You know, over here it's not that bad. It's a little hot, a little muggy, but I've got air conditioning, so I don't care.
Yeah, well,
I'm willing to spend the $100 a month for the
extra
for the bill.
Yeah.
it's like 95 and like, I don't know, 90% humidity here, so it's like hot.
Ish.
It's always hot. But,
Wow.
Yep.
Yep. So tonight we are going to be talking about can you communicate with aliens or extraterrestrials? Because I guess that's what they prefer, according to Willow, to be called, with our minds. And, you know, can it happen? Go ahead. Can it happen?
Yes, it can happen. It does happen all the time. If you know anything about Dr. Stephen Greer and his CE5 protocol from Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, he discovered that it was possible after a near-death experience that he had in his teens, and he was meditating on the mountain by his home in North Carolina, and all of a sudden during this meditation he sees something in the sky, a light in the sky, and it comes closer to him. So he realized that when you're in deep meditation, your vibration is a higher level, and they are looking for us to be more evolved and at a higher level so that we're not savage, we're not violent, we're not going to try to shoot them down. And that's when they will come in to communicate with those of us who are ready to communicate with them. And he discovered that if you meditate and use what he calls is like a reverse remote viewing to show where you're located, that you can actually call them in. And he has large groups doing it all over the world. And they do see the ships, the lights. They've seen light beings coming in. They've got lots of photos of it. So just like us in the paranormal world, they are actually, getting evidence of this happening. And I find it really fascinating.
Can't hear you, Jerry.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. is it real evidence or is it possibly evidence? Because, I mean, if you look at all the stuff, that's out there and everything else, I just can't really believe that, number one, I mean, if somebody comes from a different country and they're trying to communicate with you, you don't speak their language. How are you supposed to know what they're saying? So who's to say that UFOs or aliens or your extraterrestrials, couldn't be understood by human or could understand humans?
It's more about vibration. And have you ever been around somebody that you can just tell they have bad intentions? They don't have to say anything. You just feel their energy, right?
Right.
Well, that is what they are trying to do with the CE5 protocol. Whether they can understand our language or not, they telepathically are picking up on our intentions. And those who are sitting around and in these groups who are meditating to do this, to actually reach them in a loving way, that is what they are attracted to. They're not going to be attracted to what we have to say. Words are deceiving, but our intent and the way we send out our energy vibrations, that cannot be deceiving. You can only send out love if you're sending out love. If you are sending out hate and trying to pretend that it's love, it doesn't work. It's a different vibration. And they have photo evidence. They have video evidence. They have photo evidence.
Kimberly?
So my thoughts are like this, Willow. So basically their intentions are all good, majority of these aliens, because there are specific different ones.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there's different types of species of alien, like the grays, and then you have the ones that they even say mixed with human, as well, So do you really think or believe that they're going to be like these nice kind of alien types? Because, I mean, I've had experiences and I've had these really bizarre, it's not a dream. I know it's not a dream, but they weren't very nice, And I was just a child at the time.
Yeah.
So I sometimes don't feel that they're always going to be specifically, nice in certain ways. Are they just trying to communicate so that way communicate with, us and our universe?
I think, and I understand, and I don't think that every race of extraterrestrials are perfectly good intention. Right, I'm not going to say it. It's like, look at Afghanistan right now. Hello. It's like you're going to have nice humans and you're going to have bad humans. Well, you're going to have good extraterrestrial races and bad ones. They're not all good. They're not. So generally, what I'm seeing that they are bringing in during their meditations are those of more interdimensional types of beings. They've not had any bad experiences. So whatever's being attracted to them, they have not had negative experiences. That's all I know. Nobody has documented a negative experience in that way. But through abductions and things like that, no, not all of them are nice. That's for sure.
Okay.
So you're roughly saying that the abductions are more of a harmful thing?
Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. Did you ever see the movie Fire in the Sky?
Oh, that's with Travis?
Yes.
Travis, well, yeah.
Now, when he was abducted, he had gotten blasted by their ship, and it stopped his heart. He even has been interviewed and said what they ended up doing was actually reviving him and healing his body before they sent him back, because he basically was dead because of their ship. That's the only reason they took him.
I mean, but is it because they took him in a bad way, or did they take? I've met him, and I've never asked him. I've met him, and I've seen a little bit of the Fire of the Sky. I didn't really get into it too much,
Yeah.
but he gives me, on it. To be honest, I've met him, and he gives me the baddest vibe for some odd reason.
Yeah, well,
not.
no, it's
He is not. Well, I think Jerry knows what I'm talking about. He does give me this vibe, and I feel like he is part alien already for some odd reason.
Well, who
I'm
knows
not
what they
trying to
put
be-
in him?
Right, exactly.
We don't
Well,
know.
that's me too, because see, that's what I worry about, because I know something happened to me. I can't tell you whether I got abducted or not, but that's the way it felt,
Yeah.
and the sound, and what you saw, and they made sure they knew that I was, there with them, and this whole communicating thing, like, I feel like sometimes I get watched in certain places, and that's probably what they're doing to do that communicating thing.
I'm
I
sure,
even
yeah.
I lost time,
Oh,
when
yeah.
I went through it,
Yeah.
and I was a kid. I was probably either 15, 16, something like that. It was a nightmare to me. It was a nightmare. It was scary. The scariest thing I've ever felt. It hurt what they were doing, and it was not cool.
Right. No, yeah, I totally
So,
get that.
I
Yeah.
mean, I always think that, what if I could be like that? What if something happens to me that way? But I'll tell you this much. He does give me some vibes, in a sense.
Oh, there's stories there that Kim and I could tell.
Yeah.
But we're not going to. We're not going to on that. But no, there's another thing too, is that I know I can say this because it's actually known out there and stuff. When it came to his of what happened and everything with him, but they also said that there was a guy found that was dead, and they said he made this up as a cover story. So, do you believe every case that's out there, Willow?
I don't think you can believe every single case. I really don't. When you think about it, people are going to use whatever they want to use. People are human beings. They want to cover something up, they'll cover something up. They want to make something up,
Right.
they will make something up.
Especially the
Humans,
government.
yeah. Yes, yeah, I got you with that one. Yes, totally.
Yes.
So
Yep.
we just never know what's really going on, and it makes me wonder. It's like, I hear all kinds of stuff. I watch lots of different documentaries,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always trying to pick the truth out a little bit here or a little bit
Right.
there. I know it's not all truth. Okay. For some reason, though, I do believe what Dr. Stephen Greer has been saying. I just feel his vibration is of a higher level. It's like he does not want anybody harmed. I really believe that.
Okay.
And but some of these others, I wonder. I mean, I listen to all of the so-called experts in the field, or those who have experienced things, and I do question some of them. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. I just find it interesting that we've had close encounters of the first, second, third, fourth kind, because that was them having physical contact with us. They initiate, which is the abductions and things like that. But when Stephen Greer did his, he reached out to them, not them reaching out to him. Now, in that case, I'm wondering, well, maybe he's reaching out to those who are more of a loving race. I don't know. Maybe it's what he is sending out to a certain vibration, and only the certain races are coming in. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. But they have some really beautiful photos of these light beings. Mm-hmm. So those are more interdimensional light beings. They are not in a ship. They are actual lights that are beings that are showing up next to people doing these meditations.
Okay.
It's very fascinating.
I have a question. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I hear about these this I did the fair up here in Wasika, and a man came up to me and told me something about the UFOs. He goes, "Do you believe in UFOs?" Because he knows I'm into the paranormal, and I said, "Of course I do. I've had some experiences." And he says, "Don't you ever think that these are these falling angels?" What do you feel about that, Willow?
I'm sorry, but being not Christian, I don't believe in fallen angels.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Haven't anybody heard of that? And I'm like, what? Like, I think it's a whole different, it's like a species of some sort of, the aliens are. But I mean, and he's talked about that. And I was like, I don't know where he was coming from. He could have been a whole different. I was floored. And, and that's that would be his belief,
right.
And that's what he feels that aliens are. But that are these falling angels, apparently, some type of, I've heard this more than once.
Right.
So I'm like, but when I looked at him, he threw me off like a lot. He really challenged me, in what I believe.
Well, let's look at that, because what I have also heard is some people don't call them fallen angels, but they will actually say that they are actually the demons because they look different, they are different, and, the negative, nasty ones that are abducting and causing harm to others and things like that and controlling, I've had them actually described as that. And it's like, well, I just say they're not human. I don't really use the term demon, even in my work. I say non-human entity, human entity, extraterrestrial, things like that. But I don't use the term demon. But there have been, and I've heard it from people, these so-called experts, say that they believe that that's where people are, what they see are actually extraterrestrials or alien species that they believe are demons. And some, I'm going to tell you, some would make you think that because of how scary they
that's
look.
What I think. I would think that. You know what I mean? So
the mantids,
think,
for instance, the reptilians.
Yeah. What do you think, Jerry? Because you're very quiet over there.
Yeah, well, I'm reading something here that in April 2020, the Defense Department, in the U.S. Navy, they found those flying objects which could hypersonic speeds and changing direction almost instantaneously, capabilities far beyond what anything that we have. Even Russia and China agree with the United States that we should be grateful that we don't have any evidence of contact with alien civilizations. Attempting to communicate with extraterrestrials, if they do exist, can be extremely dangerous for us. We need to figure out whether it's wise or safe and how to handle such attempts in an organized manner. Now, you could sit there and say that, of course, that's the government saying that, covering up more stuff and everything else.
Right.
But, even if you look at it, and I know this is going a little weird, but do you remember when the movie Independence Day was on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Will Smith even said, I don't think they're going to come halfway across the galaxy to start some stuff down here.
Right.
But yet they did. So who's to say that, they said that, or a lot of people, Ancient Aliens, stuff like that, had a show that said that actually we come from Mars and we were once Martians. And after we used up all the, we destroyed our own environment and everything else, we then had to move to another planet, which was Earth. And now look what's happening here. We're using up, the climate is just out of control. It's stuff that shouldn't be. Our weather is getting bad and nasty.
Mhm.
I mean, how long can this really keep going? And how much are people going to change and
Right.
evolve into possibly what was the same thing that was on Mars? Our technology has already grown so much within the last 100 years. It's just unbelievable.
That's true.
So, I mean, it's kind of scary when you really look at it.
Well, there's also the theory that some of the extraterrestrials are actually us in the future coming back to do some warning of us destroying our planet again. So I hear all kinds of, stuff, all kinds of theories. Are there any proof? Not really on all of it, other than can we contact them with our minds? Obviously, if it's happening all over the world with these CE5 protocol groups, obviously they're doing something to bring them in. And it's interesting because the minute like they bring them in, like jets are scrambled to chase after them. So
Right.
and then they see them and then they just pop out.
Mhm.
So I find it fascinating, and I'm not going to tell you that I'm not going to try it because I will. My plan
Right.
is next year I'm going to go to Brown Mountain and try it.
Right. Well, Steve said something. He said the ancient alien stuff is quite far-fetched, if you asked me. You know what? That's what they said way back in like the 1800s when the first telephone was made. When they were talking about it, they were like, "Oh, that's just not going to happen. That's so far-fetched." So Steve,
Yeah.
were you
Yeah.
there then? You just kind of time warped ahead. I mean, it's all, just incredible stuff. And, hopefully we're alive when things start happening like that. Already there's, people have had claims and, well, like even myself, I've seen Bigfoot. So the cryptid thing to me is actually real. But
Mhm.
I have not seen Mothman. I have not seen
Right.
Dogman or anything like that, but at least one is real.
Mhm.
Do I hope that like Pepe and Lake City is real? I really do.
Mhm.
And I hope Loch Ness is real. But yet so far, you know, back in 1933 when it all started happening, the guy that died years later confessed to, you know,
Yeah.
faking it.
That's just like the crop stories too. Like there was a guy
Right.
here in Janesville that did the crop. Apparently, on his farm there were crop circles, and then after he dies, he's dying by his bedside. Apparently, he did it. He's the one that created them.
Oh,
Apparently.
is that right?
Yeah, there's a story on it. Yeah, if you research Janesville and crop circles, there is a story on it that apparently on his deathbed. But then again, Jerry, is this a government hiding thing where they assume that this is? Do you see what I mean? Like, because I believe in the crop circles. I don't know. I really truly think that
Yeah,
that's some type of communication or signals to other aliens.
they actually have a video of lights over a wheat
Yeah,
field,
like the
and
lights.
it's
Those
and
lights.
it's they and after they left, the crop circle was there.
See? See, so
Yeah,
I think this is just a cover up. They covered, and he's an older gentleman, and he was at his deathbed, and he admits to him doing this. I mean,
yeah,
could he? Do you know what I'm saying? Could he have been abducted and had his mind altered at that state? When he's dying. You know what I mean? You
very
don't know.
Well,
possible. Yeah,
that's kind of,
we don't know.
I mean, we're just, yeah, well, I know, but we're grasping onto straws and
Right, right.
just wishing and hoping something like that. Stephen Hawking actually said intelligent aliens could destroy humanity, but let's search
Yeah.
anyway. But he thinks it's also a dangerous thing
Okay.
to try to find aliens, and such creatures would try to destroy humans. You know,
I think some could, and I
Right.
also feel that others would fight the bad ones to protect us. I really do. I think there's good ones that are trying to save the planet.
Mhm.
I mean, from the ones that I've had connection with, and I have, and as you both know, I've actually had contact, just different than what Kimberly's had, but I have had good experiences with them. I've not had bad, other than when my mind got wiped. But I'm sure that was because my ex-husband interfered with them doing what they were supposed to be doing, and they just took too much of my memory away. So yeah, was there time missing? Yeah, like days. So I don't even know who I was for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, see?
And it was very weird. But he interfered and chased them out of the house. So I don't know. I don't know what their intention was at that point. He felt it was negative, but we're talking about a guy who was not a very nice person. So they might have had bad intentions to him because he's a really bad person.
Right.
We're just not sure. I don't know. The jury's still out on that one.
Right.
But all the other experiences I've had were positive.
Okay.
So I've had missing time. I've, witnessed a UFO that came right down. A ship came right down over
I've
my
seen
mother
one.
and I, and the minister from the Baptist church, and it hovered above our heads, maybe 50 feet off the ground, and we all saw it, and we just stared at it, and we were, I don't know, an hour later,
Right.
we come back, and I remember the minister looking at us now, and I'm at this point now wondering if it was actually the minister or not, because he looked at us and he goes, "You will never talk about this. Nothing happened."
Oh, wow. Huh.
And because he was an authority figure,
Right.
my mother and I didn't even talk among ourselves about it.
Huh. That's true. That's true right there.
I did not talk about it until I was 25 years old, and I was 13, 14 at the time. Not even quite 14, so I was like 13. So 12 years before I would even mention it, and I told my mother-in-law.
So I was younger when I had my experience with the aliens, on a table and everything, and they were putting something in my neck.
Yeah.
The other thing was when I was about, I think before Dorothy was even born, that's why it kind of freaks me out a little bit, because before Dorothy was even born, I had an experience, and must have been pregnant at the time, and I had an experience, and I literally woke up at 3:33. I looked at the alarm clock, and it said 3:33, and something made me get up and look out the window, and there is an alien craft, oval shape, white, hovering over these apartments that I used to stay in. Well, they're condos or something, but they look like apartments. But it hovered for the longest time. And I thought to myself, oh, am I really, I blinked and everything, because I was like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing? But it stayed there for a while. So then I thought, okay, I'm just going to go to the bathroom and come back, and it's going to be gone,
Right.
Yeah, it was gone. It was gone. And then 4 years later, prior to that happening, the other people were seeing these ships in the same area. And I didn't even know that. And so I was like, I told my mom, and she totally believed me. Now, the thing is that my mom, I find out later that my mom had an experience when she was younger. My sister had an experience when she was a little bit older. So in our female, I don't know who else, but so far we've had some type of experiences. Yeah. So who's to say, it's just odd to me, I think.
Well, a lot of times it does happen in families. It does.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what they say.
And it was me and my mom.
And that's exactly what Jean, her name is Jean, and she's with the MUFON, and she told me that's what that was, that they were looking at my family to help with breeding. Yeah. And I was like, now, and then get this, I got to tell you guys this too. Apparently my daughter, okay, this is why I'm thinking the breeding thing. My daughter never knew what an alien was, okay? She never knew what the names were. She never knew anything. Was fascinated by them, so I did a lot of research, especially after what has happened to me. And when I was much younger, and when my daughter was 5 years old, she woke up in a nightmare. I mean, she was sweating and everything and crying. I go to her and I said, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" She goes, "Didn't you see the grays? The grays, they're at the window." And I was like, "What? How would she even know that?"
Right.
The grays,
Yeah.
they're in the window. And I was like, and that's where people have seen them.
Yep.
In the same area. We were just moved in a different place. That's all. Same area, same mountain, and everything.
Steve B wants to know what part of the country you saw them in. What part of the country were you in?
Oh, I was in California at the time when I was younger. I was born in California. So, yeah. So, same as my daughter. And we were in the same area, same foothills of the mountains. And,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
that's what made her, because I told her the experiences that we had. And then years later, I find out that my mom had the exact same thing. My sister said she was raped by him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Oh.
it's sad. Oh, break, guys.
Woohoo!
Those geek ladies, Sean and Victoria from Exploring the Paranormal with Geeks Paranormal, are at it again with another amazing season full of paranormal celebrity interviews with amazing guests and stories of haunted locations and so much more. You will hear it first on Para X. Tune in Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. You will not be disappointed.
In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock. The Dark Sun Rising on the Para X Radio Network.
Your source for everything paranormal. Para X.
The Calling, along with Kimberly and Willow Le Machant. And hey, if you just joined us and you're wondering what happened first half of the show, well, you can tune in tomorrow on www.thecallingradioshow.com or YouTube, The Calling Radio Show too. And keep listening to a lot of Para X. It's unbelievable. You have The Gathering every Tuesday night from 8 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. You have Geeks Paranormal right after us, and I think there's another Geeks Paranormal on Friday possibly. And on Friday too, you have CJ Dunham has her show out there. So there's just tons. Every day there's always something going on. So, okay, and also too, a little bit of news here. Next week on The Gathering, Willow's not able to do it, bummer, but Kimberly and I are going to be on The Gathering. Yay!
Yay!
We're going to be talking about paranormal investigative technique and fun stuff like that. So it should be a good show. I mean, just think, you guys, 2 nights of me? What else? Gosh. What else? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. The world
Right?
is awesome. Okay. So, Kim, did you want to finish up what you were saying? Or did you answer
Yeah,
Steve's
I think.
question? Okay.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I was in California, and a lot of the time after I saw the reports, there were reports of alien ships in that area, and I found out like a couple of years afterwards. So I knew what I saw then. It verified verified what I seen. So yeah, it was in the mountain area. So
Yeah,
Wow.
when I lived in
And-
Arizona, it was like light shows almost every night.
yes,
I used to own property up in northern Arizona by the Grand Canyon, and on our property we would camp out on it, and it was like, as my daughter said, the skies are bigger here. Well, it's a desert. There's just not a lot of trees to block your view, right?
right.
But it does look bigger. But you could watch over the mountains, and you could see these just. It was a light show. I mean, that's the only thing you could describe it as. They
talk
would
about
make
it all the time
different
there.
formations, and they would zip here and zip there. It was amazing. I just loved watching it. It was fascinating to me. So, yeah, it was really cool.
Well, also, too, Steph was saying something about Rh negative blood. It has been around forever and stuff. I just decided to look it up, and it says all human blood types contain and are categorized by amounts of proteins, except type Rh negative, that is. It is possible that human beings possessing the latter blood type are actually from Mars, Venus, or elsewhere in the universe. Since the known laws of physics break down past the horizons of black holes, truly anything is possible, but it is likely that the Rh negative blood has unearthly origins. Only 15% of human beings have this strange type of blood. And what's more, these individuals have described as having strange personal characteristics as well. I'm going to keep my own opinion out of that. Oddly enough, Rh negative blood can be utilized by any human being in need of transfusion, but people with Rh negative naturally coursing through their veins cannot make use of any other type of blood at all. Furthermore, the vast majority of these latter individuals happen to reside in Northern Europe. Even more fascinating are the facts that the people tend to have green or blue eyes, naturally orangish colored hair, cool body temperatures, and a sensitivity to hot temperatures. At first, I read it wrong, and I thought it was hot tempers. And I thought, I'm going to keep my thought to myself on that one also too. But it's incredible, And I mean, I think Casey has the same blood, and it's stretched to say that women actually. Okay, I'm not going to read that part because that's kind of terrible. But it's mostly women that have that type of blood. So there.
Yep. They're like descendants of the goddess.
Or, like the Norwegians would say, the Vikings, descendants of the gods.
Yep. Well, but being women, goddess.
All right. And star people, exactly. I mean, that's what the Native Americans believe,
Yeah.
So,
So,
all people.
yeah.
I didn't know that all people could use O negative blood.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm A positive. A positive, isn't that the blood that anybody can use?
A positive? No.
Really?
I'm A positive. Yeah, no.
Oh, well, that's good to know, because if you need blood, how much money you got, I'm kidding.
I wouldn't take it, You don't know what's in that.
In mine or in yours?
Whoever, I don't know.
Kimberly,
great.
what kind of blood do you got? I mean, other than red.
I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's B. I want to say it's a B negative.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is. I think when I saw my paperwork, it said B negative.
Oh,
Yep. So what is that?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
either.
a blood type. I always, when I was a kid and I found out it was A positive, I always joked. I'm like, that's because I'm always a positive person and I always got A's in school. You know, what do kids
Wow.
know? You know, we don't know.
Right. I'll be darned. A positive can take A plus or A negative blood. Plus O negative. Oh,
right.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah, because anybody can take O
Interesting.
negative. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll be darned. I never knew that. Well, what's the real special one?
What do you mean real special?
There's a real
Isn't it
special
O?
blood.
I thought it
We're
was
all special. We're all special, Jerry. We're all unique.
Okay, so Mufi says she's O positive, and she's a universal donor. But I thought there was one that was so rare.
It is rare.
Isn't it OB negative or something?
Oh, I don't know. I don't understand blood.
I don't think it was B because I would be like
Oh.
rare.
Ask Steve B because he used to work at a blood bank.
Oh,
Steve B, there's a question.
The most unique blood.
AB negative. That's
negative.
right. There you go.
AB negative is okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Yes.
Hmm.
Huh.
Very
So
cool.
you didn't snack on any during lunch or anything, did you, Steve? You weren't a vampire at one time.
How we have such a good audience. Like
Well,
they're
they've
just
told a
so
lot of
smart.
stuff.
All of them are just
Yeah.
so smart.
We don't need to
Love it.
Google. We just need to go
No,
to
we
the chat
just-
room.
room. Exactly.
Exactly.
Chat room. High five, guys.
High five, and she reaches in the air. Yeah.
That's the vibe, Jerry. Jeez.
Well, they didn't know you had your high five going in the air, and I
You
thought.
just told them.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be on The Gathering next week.
Yeah, so
And
am I.
so, Kimmy, sing the Gathering theme song.
The Gathering.
The Gathering.
You know what's so funny? I've never been on The Gathering before. I'm super stoked.
Haven't you really?
Wait, have I? I'm trying to remember. Bigfoot, maybe? I don't think so. I've always been on. I think I've always done shows with Heidi, though. We've done some like clearing, talked about clearings and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't remember. Steph, do you remember? I don't know.
I don't know if you've been on it. You know,
So that'll be exciting. That'll be good.
So have you ever been on The Calling?
Yes. As a guest.
Curiosity, the first time you were on, you were really nervous, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. I was. I really
You
was.
still are nervous, especially when you're the host and you have a guest on. And we're
Yeah,
not
well,
there.
you know what?
You
Honestly,
stutter a lot, and I think it's hilarious. Because before she comes on to the show, I'll remind the guests that you're going to hear a lot of and a lot of dead air and stuff like that. And Kimmy
I
gets
try
mad
not
at me.
to. I try not to. Well, it's kind of hard, too, because Jerry's, like, in the background, and you're like, and every time he's saying something or he's trying to make a signal or something, it's like, what is he trying to say?
Probably
that's
nothing.
fun.
He's just trying to distract you.
Right. Okay, so let's go back to what our topic was, aliens, and being able to communicate with them. What would be their intentions then? Let's say that with Paranormal Rider, that time when a UFO came to head on towards him on his airplane, and another one was behind him.
Mm-hmm.
What's their motivation for that then? What are they thinking? Why are they doing that thing?
It could be just observation to see, what we've got, what our technology. But I mean, by now they should know. I don't know how long ago that was that happened, but I think
80s.
a lot of. Okay, and it was really hot back then too for a lot of sightings and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think, I think as time went on, different races were coming in to observe. I mean, I've heard through lots of these documentaries that I watch, and I do watch a lot of them, and maybe too many. Um, but they have been saying that that our planet has basically been off limits because we are
Yeah,
such
I
a
heard that.
warmongering civilization
Yeah.
that we will shoot them down every chance we get, which it's happened. I don't know how many times it has happened. We've shot a lot of their ships down. And that's how we got a lot of their, technology, because reverse engineering. But so who
Well, wait a
knows?
minute.
I mean,
Has the government even admitted to shooting down quite
well,
a
there's
few of them?
been, okay, well, there has been people who used to work for the government are now whistleblowers. Those are the ones who are saying, yes, we shot them down. We shot them down in the 30s. We've shot them down in 40s when Roswell, they shot them down.
Yeah.
The ones in California, remember that one where they were shooting over the water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were shooting them down too. So yeah, we wanted their technology, basically. I think that's the whole premise of why we were shooting them down. Why do you shoot something down if it's not shooting at you first? Why do
Well,
you go
wouldn't
after something?
so this is my thoughts too. I mean, wouldn't the government, once they shot them down, then they kind of see what types of you know what their types of equipment or
Yeah,
capabilities are at that point. You know what I mean?
right.
And then, I mean, come on, the government does a lot of hush hush for everything. I
Oh, of
mean, a
course.
lot of hush hush.
Well,
So
hold on here. So you're saying that the government has shot down quite a bit and stuff like that, but yet, and earlier, you said you don't feel that aliens are hostile.
No, I
So,
don't.
okay, but if we're shooting them down and they know we're shooting them down, how can they be friendly towards us?
They're not friendly towards our government. They're not friendly towards our military. They're not friendly towards those that they can sense hostility. They're
right,
only, literally, they're only coming in to observe, experiment, and come in when they are being reached out to. This is a higher telepathic kind of vibration. So you would really need to have
so
the right mindset and the right intention before they're going to come in. That's
right,
why, like the CE5 protocol, there is a certain type of meditation that they do. They all do it together. They all sit there in quiet meditation before the group even gets started to get their mind in the right headspace. Every time I have had an encounter, I have been in a spiritual situation. I was on holy ground when we were at the church. I have seen them when I have done my own spiritual rituals, and then they've come in. I have been taken during a Reiki healing circle when we all had our vibration raised.
hmm
These are the things that I have had my experiences at, and only at those times.
and nothing happened to you during those experiences, Will?
Nothing negative.
Hmm.
The only time that I had any kind of physical remnants of it was when they wiped my mind in
hmm
2002 in Canada, when my now ex-husband interfered in the middle of it, whatever
Right.
they were doing. He stopped whatever the process was, and they left.
Hmm.
Interesting.
But
So,
even that night, let me tell you, I had done a ritual, a spiritual ritual, before going to bed. I had already raised my vibration before I went to sleep.
Oh, yep.
okay. Um, so do you believe then, because the government has already and has done this, they have classified certain parts of space as ones of like the yellow UFOs, or UAPs, the red and whites, the blues, all these different, the spheres, all these different shapes and stuff like that, and colors coming from different parts of outside of outside of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that they've got them categorized in as some as possibly being harmful and some that may not be?
I think they know which races are what.
Mhm.
I think there's like 51 races or something like that. I can't remember the number. It's high number.
Where did you hear this? Curiosity.
It's some of the research that I have done. I've seen multiple authors write about the different races, and government has been part of that research.
Okay.
I mean, they've actually had them in their own facilities. The government has had extraterrestrials. They have kept them hostage to get information.
So do you believe then that that guy from, what was it, in the 30s or 40s or 50s or something like that, that alien that disguised himself as a human, and he was something to do in the Pentagon and everything, and he had meetings with him? I'm going to find that. You guys continue on.
The extraterrestrial that met with, I think it was Roosevelt or somebody.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I don't think he actually disguised himself as a human, but it was a definite secret meeting with Roosevelt. I believe that was real.
Huh.
Hmm.
I don't know about that. I'm just saying.
Well,
I don't know.
I found it interesting because they've known a lot. They've known way back. Way back.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Right.
they've
I'm
known
not-
forever. You know, we've known the native people, like you said, the star people. They've been around for millennia.
Yeah.
They've been here since the beginning of
They
civilization.
talk about it in the Bible.
Yes.
So-
Look at some of these ancient paintings. They
Yep.
showing UFOs in the sky behind the Virgin Mary, for goodness sake, you know?
Well, like just like the those, what do you call them? The ones that are on the cliffs and stuff. You see alien forms and stuff.
petroglyphs.
Petroglyphs. Yep.
Yes.
So
Okay. It was actually President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
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 Secretly met with aliens in 1954.
Yeah.
The detailed research project recounts one of UFOlogy's most endearing urban legends.
Well,
Okay, it said
they're going to
further
say it's a
allegations
legend to hide it.
suggests that a treaty was signed with the aliens that would affect our national politics to this day, given the facts about UFO secrets of World War II and President Eisenhower. So there is a it's called UFO Secret dash President Eisenhower ET Contact. So there is you can rent it. And it's something about that. I thought it was really interesting.
that
Yeah.
is.
Ike and the Alien Ambassadors was put in the Washington Post on February 19th, 2004. Wow, February 20th, 1954 is when it all happened.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is.
Yeah, but I mean, and he's not the only one that's, met with them. They, like I said, I know there's one person that claims that they were working at the facility and he worked directly with the extraterrestrial that they had at that facility. And I can't remember his name because he called him something. Actually gave the extraterrestrial a name,
Mhm.
but he would speak to them telepathically. He learned how to speak
Yeah, I've heard
telepathically
that.
to him.
Yep.
That Eisenhower did?
No. One of these
some-
guys that they had from the military, he was assigned to be telepathic with this extraterrestrial to get information.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, look at all the most recent Air Force base that they've been saying that they've been seeing ships now.
Yeah.
Out there now. They've been claiming these claims, and then all of a sudden you just
Yeah.
don't hear about them anymore.
Well, no, they still do. They just not too long ago they had that one off aircraft carrier that they
The
followed
Tic Tac.
it for a long time, and it just
for
kept
a long
going. Yeah,
time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they can't figure that out.
But what I'm feeling that they're doing is they really didn't think that the human civilization could handle the truth. Like we're a bunch of immature idiots. We can't handle the truth, right? So they've kept everything from us, and it's not really a national security issue. It's they don't know how people are going to react. Are we going to be rioting in the streets out of fear? I mean, look at us in a pandemic. So, what are we going to do, right?
That's true.
Right.
That is
So
true.
I think that's why they've kept the secrets as long as they've kept them. And at this point, I really feel like they're giving us trickles of information, trickles of the truth. Even though a lot of us already have believed it since, way back when and have had our own experiences, you're not going to sit here and tell me I did not have my experiences. Kimberly's not going to let you tell her she didn't have those experiences.
Right, exactly.
Or any of the other people who've had contact with them. We've had this experience multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So if we've had this, why is the government not allowing us, to know? We've already been experiencing this. It's like my mother when I become a medium at 2.5 and she's telling me that it's, I'm just having a bad dream, go back to sleep. I'm wide awake. You're telling me that I'm not experiencing something that I know I'm experiencing.
Right.
So, yes, I want to reach out to the extraterrestrials. That is one of my goals, and I'm going to be traveling to North Carolina next year to Brown Mountain, and we've already got this set up, and we are going to do a CE5 protocol. We're going to see if we can't bring them in.
Interesting, Willow.
I will be, recording everything, so
That's
it ought to be
cool.
it ought to be interesting. Not to mention the Brown Mountain lights, all of that.
I think it was last year or the year before at UFO Days in Elmwood, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. We tried to do a certain, what do you call it? Not investigation, but we tried to do something to try to bring UFOs to us. Mm-hmm. So we did everything with infrared lighting and lasers and high-intensity lighting and regular type lighting and placing it up in the sky. Now, I think, if I'm correct, that some people had seen certain things, but I never got nothing out of it. But, I believe that they're out there. I believe UFOs are out there. I still haven't seen an alien yet, so I don't know, but one is, now grays are supposed to be nasty and mean compared to the greens.
I think they're just little drones. I don't know for sure. I think they work for different. Yeah, I think they're like a bunch of clones.
So they work for Elon Musk.
Possibly.
Okay. Okay, we're down to 1 minute left, kids.
Wow.
So, wow, that was a fast show. So,
yeah, it was. It was fun.
Thank you all for listening. And remember that Kimberly and I will be on The Gathering next week, next Tuesday. And I want to thank you, Para X. Thank you, Sarge. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Stay tuned for Geeks Paranormal. They're coming up next. And anything else, ladies, that I forgot?
We'll see you next week.
Kimberly?
See you next week.
Oh, wow, that was exciting. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.